Grant Amato was arrested and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. Prosecutors laid it out plainly. Grant had murdered his father, his mother, and his brother, and then he tried to stage the crime scene to make it look like a murder-suicide that was carried out by Cody. He placed a gun near Cody's body as if to tell the story that Cody had snapped, turned the weapon on his parents, and then on himself. Investigators found Chad Amato, Grant's father, still wearing a gun holster, only the holster was facing the wrong direction. It was set up for a left-handed draw, and Chad was right-handed, so in other words, it made no tactical sense unless it had been placed there after his death. Then there were the shell casings. 4 of them were recovered from inside the house. None of them matched the bullets that actually killed the victims, and neither of the guns at the scene, not Cody's and not Chad's, had been fired. The murder weapon, it was sadly never found. Still, prosecutors believed that they had their killer. They painted the picture of a man so consumed by obsession and desperation that when faced with losing both his fantasy world and the financial safety net that had enabled it, he snapped, annihilating the very people who had tried to save him. The string of lies, the staggering financial theft, the erratic behavior, and that unnerving response in the interrogation room, it was all just too much to ignore. On July 31st, 2019, the jury returned their verdict: guilty on all counts. But they stopped short of recommending the death penalty. Instead, they handed down a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Since then, he's been held at the Tomoka Correctional Institution in Daytona Beach. Now, you might think the story of Grant Amato ended with his conviction, that the man who tore apart his family over a virtual relationship would disappear quietly behind prison walls. But in early 2024, Grant's twisted tale found a disturbing new chapter, this time with a connection to the paranormal world. And no, not in the ghostly haunted house sense. Now, this part of the story brings us to Aaron Goodwin, best known as one of the hosts of the long-running reality series Ghost Adventures. Police say that Victoria Goodwin, Aaron's wife, fell for a convicted triple murderer, Grant Amato. According to an arrest report from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Victoria began messaging Amato in March of 2024 after watching the docuseries Controlled-Alt-Desire, which chronicles Grant's spiral into obsession, that $200,000 he stole from his family, and then the brutal slayings that followed. What started as curiosity on her part turned into something much darker.